Hi team, good morning. Am I audible? Hello. Right. Uh, okay. I'll continue. I'll continue. Okay. So last session we have seen how do we set up that environment in order to build the Angular application. Now, as the part of it, the very first one that what we need to have is Node.js. In simple terms, I can say Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment, which is mainly used to execute the JavaScript. That is the purpose of the Node.js. And Node.js is available as a software from the official website, where you can go with the nodejs.org./en is the website, and there you can find the LTS version, where LTS stands for latest and stable version from the official Node.js is going to be 18.15.0. Any real-time application you can take, mostly we will be using, not even mostly, 100% we will be using LTS versions only, not the beta versions. Beta versions are going to be updated without having any prior notice. But if it is an LTS version, that is the stable version, and that was completely tested, and then only they released in the market as the LTS. So that is what the reason we go with the LTS version. You simply click on here, then it will be downloaded. And I hope Microsoft software installations is not a big hectic. Simply you can click on next, and finally accept the terms and conditions and finish. I heard something like, Shrikant, do we need to change any kind of environment variables while installation of Node.js means? My answer is no. No need to do anything. Just to go with the basic flow. If anything is required, we'll see that later. But right now, at this moment, you need not to have anything. That is the first thing. I hope everyone have downloaded that. I'm assuming. And once if the Node.js was downloaded and installed, so once again explain how to install. It's very simple. Just open this website. Okay. And then click on this one so that it get downloaded, and I click on install. If you double click on there, then the installation process will start. And say next. And already we have the latest version. So that is where it is showing me, do you want to change, or do you want to repair, or do you want to remove? I just wanted to go with the repair. Otherwise, no need actually, it is not required for me. But because I have installed very recently, I have the latest version. In your case, you can have the next and next, and finally finish. That's it. Understood? Okay, Urmila. Okay. So that is the first one. And after that, the next one is going to be the time when you install the Node.js, it automatically includes that NPM as well, where NPM stands for Node.js Package Manager. It is a package manager tool. That means it's a kind of a library, or it's a kind of like, the data, or else like collection of libraries where we can download it and then we can use it in our application. So that means if we can go with npm.js.com, if you can open, now you can see here, this is basically what it's a kind of repository, I can say, or else like it's a package manager, Node.js package manager. And what it is having is, it is having like, different client side libraries that are required to build that application. Understood. Different client side libraries, like, we can have what, suppose if you need TypeScript, that you can find it here. That means this is one place where you can have all your client side libraries. It doesn't matter like what library it is going to be, but you're supposed to find like all the client side libraries, most of the client side library, that you can find it over here. And here you can see there is a command. The command is going to be npm I TypeScript. So that the time when you type this command, then automatically it downloads the package and install it to your application. Suppose I just wanted to use a package that is going to be the Bootstrap. Now you can see, you can find that related package. And how do we install it? You can see there is a command npm I Bootstrap. And if you can go through the documentation, the basic documentation that what they provided, there you can find like, different commands also. Suppose your project is required to have a jQuery, then you can search it here and you can find that exact match. And there you can use, you see here, jQuery, npm I jQuery is available. So that means npm is something like it's a node package manager. It is simply, I can say that it is a tool which will be used by the developer to download and install the packages as the part of the requirement. Understand? And we have like, different packages are available, and those packages we can use. I will show you like how we can run on each and everything. Okay, anyhow, the next thing. Suppose let's say these are the two things that what we need to have. And the next one is going to be, we just need to have a TypeScript. We just need to have a TypeScript. So how do we create the, how do we get the TypeScript? Now you can see, I'll go with the TypeScript. The time when I'm typing like say TypeScript here, you can see it shows you like official website and how many downloads are happened so far and what is the latest version we are having. Okay, like that we are having, and also followed with there is a command that what you want to run. If you can go to that official website, there also you can find the same commands. Maybe I can say, let's say download. When I try like, download, or else like when I click on here, now you can see there we have like, some commands are available where you can download and where you can install it. So how I can download it? Just you can go to here via npm. I just wanted to go with like an npm where you can have a npm install what you wanted to install. TypeScript. Suppose you wanted to go with Ann. Ann is also a package manager tool. And Nugget is also a package manager tool. Boyer is also a package manager tool. Ruby Gems also there. Like that we have different package manager tools are available. Whatever the tool you people wants to use, you can use it. It doesn't matter that like we're supposed to go with only with this particular one. You can use anything. I'm using an npm. Now if you can open, let's say npm.js, I wanted to install a package that is going to be TypeScript. Now, if I go with here, the TypeScript, now see here, the time when I'm open the TypeScript here, it will show you a command that is npm, I stands for install, and then TypeScript. Now I'll copy this command and open the command prompt. Understand? Open the command prompt. If you can open like, just a command prompt from here also otherwise. Just click on command prompt and there what you can do, you can give a command. npm I, okay, I stands for install that we are having. If you want, I have written like, the command as well. You can see that npm install -g TypeScript. So now the same command, maybe I can use the same npm install -g. What you wanted to install, I'll go with the TypeScript so that it will get installed. Now, Srikanth, what is -g here? -g stands for global installation. So global installation is something like, what is meant by global installation? Every Angular application you may take where you supposed to write the logic with the help of what? With the help of what? TypeScript only. That means nowhere we are going to write like, the direct JavaScript code where we are going to write like, the TypeScript code mostly. If that is a case, we need to have the TypeScript all over like, the application, wherever you created that application, in which drive you people have created that application, you need to have the TypeScript support. For that reason only, what I can do, I'm going to install it globally. Once if you can install it globally, for every application, you need not to download the TypeScript. That is the main advantage. Understood? npm install -g TypeScript. G stands for global installation. I'm installing it globally. That's it. Clear now? Clear these three. So this is what we have discussed on that day. So to check the versions of them, like whether it was installed or not, suppose I wanted to check which version of Node.js has installed. There I can give what? Node-v. When I'm giving Node-v in the command prompt, it will give you the Node.js version. Suppose I wanted to verify npm version. There you can see it's 9.5.0. I wanted to see like, the TypeScript which was installed in my mission so that I can say tsc-v. When I'm giving tsc-v, where it gives you the version, something like it's 5.0.2 that what I'm having. Understood? So right now, these are the three things that I have installed. That means npm and Node like both together. And additionally, I have installed what? The TypeScript into my mission. And the next one is going to be, what we need to have. What we need to have. The fourth one is going to be Angular CLI. I'll come to this Angular CLI later. Don't worry about that. Okay, I'll come to this particular point later. First, I'll install like, that IDE. Otherwise, like we'll start with this one. Okay, we'll start with this one, Angular CLI. Now you can see Angular CLI is basically what it's a tool. Now you can see Angular/CLI when I am typing, it will show you that particular package. Now you can see that Angular/CLI. Now what is it is exactly? You can see if you want to know something more about it, just let me show you what exactly it is. Angular CLI. CLI overview. An Angular CLI is a command line interface tool. Command line interface in the sense, suppose Angular is made up with the help of a component, so that we are going to create many components as the part of it. Suppose let's say when I'm creating an application, I just wanted to create different Angular elements, like let's say components, services, or else some unit testing files, or else I wanted to create a directives, or I wanted to create, let's say, some XYZ file. Everything that you people can handle by writing the command. Shrikant, then how I supposed to remember those commands? I will show you like, the list of command, how we can take the help and how we can remember the command, each and everything that would be covered as the part of the training. that you need not to worry about it. But generally, what a CLI is a command line interface tool that you can initialize. That means you can create the Angular application, develop that Angular application, scaffold that Angular application, and maintain that Angular application directly from the command prompt. Understand? From the command prompt. How do we install the CLI? You can see there, they provided a command for us. What is the command? npm install -g stands for the global installation. And after that, you can see we are having @Angular/CLI that we are having. Understood? Understood? Tell me. Hello. So that is how it is going to be. That is how it is going to be. But now it was already available in my mission. If you want, I can show you. Just you can go to the command prompt, and there what I can do is ng -hyphen version, that what I can give ng version. Now you can see it was already installed in my mission. That is 15.1.4 is the version that what I am having in my mission. Suppose if anyone who are not installed in your mission, I will give you the steps, don't worry. But right now we are not going to directly start with that Angular. So that is the reason where I'll just keep this aside right now. Okay. But if anyone who are not installed, don't worry. I will show you, like, the time when we start about the Angular application development. But for now, I'm just giving you an overview of that. What is Angular CLI? CLI is a tool. I can say it's a command line interface. It's a command line interface which is used to create, understand, develop, build, and deploy the Angular applications. Understand? CLI is a tool. It's a command line interface which is used to create, develop, build, deploy Angular application. That is the main advantage. Understand? That is the main advantage. And we can install Angular CLI by using following command. That is npm install, okay, install -g @Angular/CLI, that what I can give. That's it. @Angular/CLI. Now here, if you wanted to specify the version, guide, you can. Right now the latest version of that Angular is Angular 15 is the latest one. So anyhow, I have that Angular 15, but I will show you by deleting it, and then how we can install the very latest one also. That will be understand. So this is all about Angular CLI. But again, I'm telling you, the people who have already installed, just wait a moment. We will understand first TypeScript, and then we'll come back to this place once again. The people who are not installed, if you wanted to install, you can install it, not an issue. You can simply give npm install -g @Angular/CLI has to be given. Understood? But right now, if you wanted to keep aside, because our first motto is going to be, we have to understand the TypeScript. Otherwise, like, you cannot able to work with the Angular. TypeScript is like, the very base for Angular application development. So that is the reason where I will just first explain you how do we work with the TypeScript. Okay, right. And the next one is going to be, we need to have an IDE. What is an IDE? Integrated Development Environment. And we use what? Visual Studio Code. It is a Microsoft open source. That means it is free. Open source IDE tool, which can be mostly used to build client-side applications. Understand? That means Visual Studio Code is what? It's a Microsoft open source IDE tool. Microsoft open source IDE tool. Open source in the sense what? It is free. You need not to pay any kind of license in order to use, and which can be mostly used to build a client-side application. Mostly if you wanted to use, build a client-side application, there you can use it. Now, how do we get it? Simply, you can go with Visual Studio Code. If you can type it in the Google, there you can see we have the Visual Studio Code. Now you can see code editing redefined. It's a free, built on open source, runs on anywhere. That means why most of the people they are using Visual Studio Code to build a client-side application means it is a cross-platform tool. It is a cross-platform tool. What is meant by cross-platform? Cross-platform in the sense where you can where you can run this particular tool on different operating system. Cross-platform tool, which means we can run in different operating system, different operating systems, I can say. That means we can run this one on the Windows. You can run the same on the Mac OS. You can run same on some Ubuntu OS like that. Any operating system where you can use this one. That is how they develop it. Now, someone asked me a question, Srikanth, what is an editor or what is an IDE? The basic difference between editor and IDE is, editors, that means code editors, just used to write and modify the code. That means there you supposed to write the code and you can modify the code. That's it. Understand? But IDE is IDE where we can write the code. We can write the code, compile the code if there is a compiler, and also execute the code. Execute the code without taking any other tools help. That's it. So that means what? Editors just where you can write the code and modify the code. That means you can take, let's say, Notepad you can take. There you can write any logic, right? Either it is a Java code or C# .NET code, or if it is a HTML code, or if it is going to be some TypeScript code or JavaScript code. Any code you people can write with the help of the Notepad, right? Am I right? Tell me. Any code you people can write. But after writing the code, what is the next step? The next step is going to be compilation. And once if the compilation is going to be done, the next process is going to be generating the build. And once if the build is ready, then we deploy that application into some server in order to run. But who will take care of all these things? Is your Notepad will take care of all these things? Tell me, all these steps. Tell me, guys. No, obviously no. Notepad, Notepad++. There you can't do anything. But who will take care all the responsibility? IDEs will take care. If IDE means like it's an integrated dev environment, that means there itself you can write the code, you can compile the code, you can execute the code without taking any other tool's help. That is what we call it as an IDE. And we have different IDEs are available. As of now, I worked on Visual Studio personally and Visual Studio Code. So I know about those two very well. And apart from that one, I used Brackets, but that's not an IDE tool. That's a code editor. Brackets or else Notepad++, Notepad, all these are code editors. And not even like, writing the code, compiling and executing, but Visual Studio Code is come up with like, lot of features. You can see that it provides what? IntelliSense. Now, what is mean by IntelliSense? So before you think for something, suppose you just wanted to do a simple call. You people wants to create an object for a class. Then IDE, what it will do is, as it comes with like the IntelliSense feature, it will show you like, how it is going to be generated. Now you can see, go beyond the syntax highlighting and auto complete with IntelliSense, which provides smart completions based on variable type, function declaration, and other module. So that means, you see, the time when I'm typing something in the Google, suppose I just wanted to install a Visual Studio Code. You see, when I'm trying to type, let's say Visual Studio, now it will provide you some suggestions for me, right? Google is providing some suggestions or not. And these suggestions also, we will be getting it from the code. That is what we call it as IntelliSense. That is what we call it as IntelliSense. Okay. Now, what is IntelliSense here? IntelliSense is something like auto completion. That means it will give you the suggestions. So it provides IntelliSense. It provides IntelliSense. That means suggestions to write the code. Suggestions to write the code. That is the first one. And second one is going to be, I told you anyhow this point already, where you can run and debug the application. And also it provides what? Git support. Now, what is meant by a Git? Every real-time people, they're supposed to know about it. It supports Git. Git. Now, what is meant by a Git? Git is something like, it's a source code management tool. It's a source code management tool, I can say. Now, what is source code management tool and what is the purpose of the tool? Tell me, what is source code management? Anyone? Any guess, guys? Tell me, why do we need to use like, the Git in the practical environment? Very good. Yeah, I'll explain you about the Git. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll explain the Git. I'm just asking you like, yeah, very good. I'll just explain you what exactly the source code management is going to be. See, any software development you can take, we have what different developers, they are working together in order to build that application, because no real-time application is not going to be completed by a single developer. Understood? No real-time application cannot be done by a single-time developer. If that is a case, let's say I work today for some story, or else I worked for today some task, and developer 2 worked for some other task, and he committed his changes. And developer 3 worked for some worked for some task, and he has completed his changes. Then all together, we have to send the changes to the existing application, right? Yes or no? We have to send the changes to the existing application. Then what we are going to do, where that application is available, that application is going to be managed by these tools. Okay, that means where multiple developer can work together in order to build the application. If that is the case, suppose let's say developer one did some mistake. How should I identify? If I'll take like developer one code through the pen drive and if I copy it into the existing application, developer two worked on some changes and I took like, those changes and then, okay, integrated to that existing application. If something is happened, how could I identify from which changes the problem was arised? So for that reason, we should have what? A clear tracking. A clear tracking is required. And that tracking, that source code management is going to be handled with the help of what? GitHub. The main purpose of the Git is going to be Git is used to or allows us to work multiple developers together on the same project. So if I committed, then it will store like, that particular code on my name. If somebody else like, has committed their changes, so we have like, the clear tracking. If some problem will arise, then what we can do, we can revert only that particular changes. We go with the further changes. So like that, these kind of management you supposed to handle with the help of the tool. That is what we call it as GitHub. And Visual Studio Code by default integrated with the GitHub. That is where they mentioned here. You can see that. What is Git? Working with Git and other SCM providers has never been easier. Review the differences, staging the files, make the commits right from the editor, push and pull from any hosted SCM services. All these features are integrated with what? GitHub. All these features are integrated with GitHub. That is the main advantage that we are having. Understand? That is the main advantage that we are having. That means Visual Studio Code. Why is Srikanth? We have like many IDEs are there, but why you are taking that? If you can select something, then you should be like, you have strong, command on that. You should have like, strong belief on that, like, why we have to go with that, because it comes with a lot of feature and those features are very good to me. So that is the reason where I have taken. Right. So those features are very important to me. So I have like, the Git support is available. We supposed to go with the Git. Understand? We supposed to go with the GitHub. And also you can see we have lot of extensions are available. If you can go to the Visual Studio Marketplace, see there. We have how many extensions? Now what these extensions are allows us to write the code. Shrikant, can I write a Java code? Yes, you can. You can see we have an extension. See the extension package for Java, Maven for Java, debugger for Java, project manager for Java, test runner for Java. You can see Java language support. We have like many things are available here that you can download. Just you can download and install with that so that it behaves exactly like your Java project. Shrikant, can I write a C#.NET code? Yes, you can. You can see C# and a C# extension, C# XML, C# snippets, C# extensions. Like that, you can see we have different C# related packages are available. You can use it. Shrikant, can I go with, okay, this is an Angular, but do I need to, can I install any kind of extension to this? Yes, you can see that Angular snippet version from John Papa. Suppose, can I write like, the React JS code? Yes, you can. React JS related React code snippets are available. That means what these extensions will do, this will give you directly the scaffolding options. That means I will show you a simple scenario to you. Let me open the Visual Studio Code once. I'll go with, let's say, Visual Studio. Sorry, not Visual Studio. I'm sorry. I'll try to open Visual Studio Code, that what I can give. When I'm trying to open Visual Studio Code, now you can see this is the HTML page. Okay. leave about this HTML page. Now you can see when I'm typing, let's say HTML5, see, it will give you like, the basic structure of the HTML5 document, right? Am I right at everything, whatever you people have seen here? What I have done, simply HTML-5. When I'm typing HTML5, then automatically I'm able to get it or not, tell me. And at the same time, you see, suppose I wanted to create a table. So how could I do that one? Table tag. Inside that we have tr tag. In that, maybe let's say 6 rows I wanted to have. Now you can see, am I able to get this or not? Right, Emmet is a tool. Now, where you can find all these things, those are available as an extensions. Now you can see when I click on the extensions here, it will show you like all the things that are required to you. You can see that we have like many things are available here. You can see many things are available. You can search that extension and install the relevant one. Right now I have installed what Angular language service is the one. You can see that. And at the same time, maybe I can install, let's say, Angular snippets I can use. Understand? You can see that Angular snippets, Angular version 13 snippets are available. You can simply open it and then click on install. See how many people have installed already. It's a 337 lakh, almost. Understand? People have installed. So like that it is going to be, that means we have 15 version related. That means whatever you people have required, you're supposed to install that particular one and then restart the Visual Studio, then automatically. Like that you see how many snippets are available. See that? Understand? It provides you like, that intelligence. We have around how many? 45,000 plus extensions are created by the Visual Studio Code team. By using that, we can speed up the development. No need to write everything. You can simply type that so that automatically it will provide you that one. Understand? Snippet means just now what I have done, HTML:5. Rajesh, when I'm typing automatically, it will give you the scaffolding option, right? I mean, scaffolding means automatically it generated the HTML5 document structure or not? Yes or no? That is what we call it as snippets. That is what we call it as snippets. Okay. So we have what? Those many features are available. IDE, why I used Visual Studio mean I have a strong reason behind it. What is that? The first one is going to be, it is open source. That means it's a free. No need to pay any license. And second thing is going to be, it is not a code editor where it is an IDE tool. Understand? Now, what is the difference between code editor and IDE? Code editors are used just to write the code and modify the code. But IDEs you can take, whereas you can write the code, compile the code, execute the code, and without taking any help of other tool, there itself you can do whatever you want. There itself you can do whatever you want. Understand? That is how it is going to be. You can use, I never used Eclipse in my career. Suppose if you wanted to write, you can write it. I will help you on that. Anything you can take, guys, but I'm explaining you over Visual Studio Code from here. But Shrikant, I wanted to go with Eclipse means you can start. Okay, you can start using it. That's something. Right. And the next one is going to be, as I told you, it's a cross-platform. Cross-platform in the sense we can run in any operating system. It doesn't matter that it is on Windows, Linux, Mac. Okay, different operating systems that we are having, different IDE, that is Visual Studio, is available. You can run in any platform. And the next one is it provides the IntelliSense. Understand? IntelliSense. IntelliSense is something like automatic code generation, or it will give you the suggestions to write the code. And the next one is going to be, it is having GitHub support. These many features. Now, how do we download it? Just you can go to visualstudiocode.com. or else like visualstudio.com. Here you can see we have the Visual Studio Code. I will show you that. This is the official website. I'm sharing you through the chat box, guys. You can download that. Don't install the Visual Studio. Again, I'm repeating, don't install Visual Studio. Install only Visual Studio Code, which is very, very, very lightweight IDE. Understand? I'll write that point also. Visual Studio is a heavyweight IDE, but Visual Studio Code is very lightweight. Now, what is meant by heavyweight and lightweight? How they are going to measure the weight management? How they are going to manage or how they are going to measure? It's all about like, occupying the resources of your CPU. That means that time when you install the Visual Studio, it will occupy around like, 7 to 8 GB of your RAM space, or else, sorry, hard disk space or RAM space. So it will occupy that much space. But if you can take Visual Studio Code, it is very light IDE. It won't take like, that much as well. Understand? It won't take that much as well. That is the main advantage that we are having. Visual Studio is a heavyweight and Visual Studio Code is lightweight. So the official website is this one. You may download from here. Just you can click on download. It might take a minute. You can see that I have downloaded. It's around 86 MB of the file. I downloaded that. See that you can run like, different languages. And execute it, accept the terms and conditions. Next, don't need to do anything, just go with the normal flow and then install. And then it might take a minute to install. For me, it is taking somewhat more time because I have already Visual Studio Code which was installed. That is the reason it might take for me a bit more, but for you, it will automatically install. Yeah, it's done. Now you can see the time when I click on finish, it will open. So this is how it is going. Clear, or do we have any questions here to ask? Tell me. Visual Studio Code. And these are the 4 softwares are very important. Leave about the Angular CLI. This part I'll come later. Because like first we will be starting with what? TypeScript. That is the reason where I asked. Any questions here so far? Installation. Start from the Node.js and then NPM and then TypeScript. Leave about Angular CLI and then IDE integration. Can we write web-based application? Yeah. Angular is mainly used for that purpose only, Hussein, right? Is used to build web applications only, right? Yes, we can do that. Next. Next, guys. Any questions, please let me know. That is separate installation. That you can search it in the Google, like how to integrate like, Tomcat and all, because this is like, a pure Angular session. Angular doesn't require the Tomcat, right? What is required for Angular? Node.js is required. I will show you that. If you are a Java developer, you're supposed to understand the type Tomcat. Suppose if there is a .NET developer, they might ask about IIS. Python people, they are asking about Crystal server. Then is it possible to handle everything? That's differently, right? It's not possible. So, but yes, you can do that. You can provide. Sir, can you please share the backup video? I don't have like any backup video. Do we need to install Visual Studio? No need, no need, no need. If it is available, then that should be fine. No need to reinstall it. Can we have to connect the application with database? Yes, I will show you that even. Day 1 and day 2, I don't have any video with me. Please don't ask that question again and again. I don't have like any of your contact and any of the video recording with me. I don't know, like still the admins are not assigned for this batch. Maybe today I come to know, already I raised a concern about that. Today I come to know that like who will be that admin, and they will have like, the recording, and I will share you those details by today at any cost. Visual Studio Code is different and Visual Studio is different. I told you already. Okay, Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code both are different, guys. Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code both are completely different. Okay, Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code are completely different. Okay, yes, thank you. Right. Okay, fine. This is the environment setup that has required, like, to build that Angular application. That means the Node.js, NPM, TypeScript, and then one IDE, that is the Visual Studio Code that is required for us. Now, what I want to do, I just wanted to start working with the TypeScript. I'll be start working with the TypeScript. What exactly the TypeScript is going to be? Why do we need to? Okay. Okay. So how do we work with that? That I'll just explain it to you. So the first thing is here is going to be TypeScript introduction part. Scope of Angular and React. Guys, I'm just giving you a clarity on, like, this question, scope of Angular and React. Simply, I can tell you one thing. In IT industry, every subject, every course is having their own market. Understand? As you people are from the Java background mostly, if I ask, like, which one is good, Java and .NET, what you supposed to tell? Answer my question, please. Java, 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 Java. So everybody, like, looking for Java, right? Everyone. Most of the people, they are telling Java. But tell me one thing, if there is a drive which is conducted by the company for the Java people, a simple scenario, tell me, where I have like 10 recruitments, then how many people are applying for the Java? For 10 positions, how many people they are applying? 10,000. Not that much, but at least, like, 100 people. But if it is a .NET, for 10 positions, it's hardly 30 members only. Now tell me where the competition is more. Java or .NET? Same positions only, same salary, same career. But Java is having, like, more competition. Why .NET is having? Because, like, the same career opportunity, but why .NET is having, like, less number of people? The reason behind that is in our academics, that means the time, like when we are doing our graduation, Java is the part of our academic subject. Everybody think that, like, we know about the Java. Suppose if I join in some institute, we come to know like, something more. We can get like, more knowledge on the Java so that I can get easily the job. That is only that assumption. But right now, any course you can take is having equal opportunity. Because I'm seeing the market. I'm a real-time professional where I'm working for like one of the reputed company, and there my designation is the technical lead. Under me, around 60 plus people are working. Okay, on different, there are like couple of projects are in Angular, couple of projects are there in React, couple of projects are in .NET. I'm handling one Java project also. But like, every technology and every course is having equal opportunities. The only one thing is going to be end of the day, how much we understood and how much we learned. That is important. Okay, now this is good, that is bad. Those days are done. If you start like, C language also, C language is, it's very, very, very difficult language. But I saw like, lot of people with pure C and C++ knowledge and data structure knowledge, they are getting, 13 to 14 lakhs as the fresher. 13 to 14 lakhs as the fresher. But as like in Java, like what are the things you people are learning? Or else .NET you might take, how many you are going to learn? Just I'm giving you an example. So .NET you can take. There we have C# .NET. Java people, they have the Java program. JSP. Sorry. Here like, we have ASP.NET. They have what? JSP. And we have ASP.NET MVC. Who like .NET people. And Java people, they are having what? Struts MVC. Or else let's say Spring MVC. And we have ASP.NET Core. And they have something different. Understand? JDBC. And ADO.NET. Sorry, I'm just like, change. Where is the difference then? See, everything, it's all depend on your project requirements, guys. It's not in your hand. It's not in your hand. It's not in my hand either. As I'm having 10 years of IT experience, I'm dealing with different technologies. I can't take the decisions that, okay, I'm familiar with .NET so that I can go and work on only the .NET project. Means that won't be happen. End of the day, you should understand the concept. That is important. You should know about what the JavaScript. That is important. You should know about like, the TypeScript. That is important. Later on, like, Angular, React, .NET, Java, that you can compare. That's your wish. But according to me, I'm telling you, Angular and React both are good competitors in the market. Both are 100% good competitors in the market. Learning point of view, Angular would be a bit easy when compared with React.js, because React is having JSX syntax, which will be a bit difficult task for us to understand. According to me, I'm telling, understand, according to my experience, I'm telling you, React is having what? A bit difficult syntax to understand as a fresher level. But the Angular you can take, it gives you the server side experience. That means any person who is having an expert in Java program or C#.NET program, they can easily understand the TypeScript. They can easily write like, the Angular application code. That is only the reason where most of the people, they are learning that Angular compared with the React. But Shrikant, after like, learning that Angular, I started Angular application development. Is it possible to move into the React? Means yes, you must. Because any technology, what you are learning to sustain in the industry for 2 to 3 years of the period, that's it. After that, if you people wants to be in the industry, then you must have to update. If you're not going to be updated, then your career is also going to be full stop over there completely. Understand? So don't ask such a questions. I hope like everybody clear that whatever you are learning, learn with perfection. That's it. Whatever I'm explaining, that is required for you, for 3 years, at least 3 years that you can manage. But after that, like what would be the next mean? Then which one is good in the market that you can grab and you can explore yourself. That skill set is very important. That is where sometimes I told you, go and do like R&D, research and development. You can do that one. You can learn from yourself because those things are very important. Those skills are very important for a developer. Always don't depend on someone. Okay, they will explain and we will doing. So don't do that one. You can learn from yourself, improve that skill, that capability. That is very important. Okay, just keep that in mind. According to me, I'm giving you Angular and React. Both are good in market. Both are good and good competitors in market. Anything you can learn, either Angular or React. But the Angular learning point of view, it's a bit easy. React is a bit difficult. That's it. Performance and everything is like, good. That's it. Now, coming back to the subject, sorry. I've taken like, 10 minutes of your time. Right. So whenever if we are going to use like, the TypeScript, the first question that comes into the mind is already we have the JavaScript. Already we have what? JavaScript in the market. Then why should I go with the TypeScript? Understand? Because JavaScript is like, one language which is ruling the market nowadays. In current industry, JavaScript is like, one language which will be mostly used language in nowadays. Nowadays, you can take like, which is one of the most used language. Any client-side implementation you can take, which is dependent on the JavaScript only, like React.js, as you said, Angular, or else Knockout.js, Node.js, Vue.js. Okay, like that we have different languages are available, or different technologies, different library. End of the day, it has to be converted into the JavaScript because browser is able to understand only the JavaScript code. That is only the reason where we have like JavaScript, which is very much popular. But why the TypeScript is? Now, what exactly the TypeScript will do? Tell me. What exactly the TypeScript will do? Tell me. Now, I can say that TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript, I can say. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. That means, which means it is the combination of, very good. It is the combination of JavaScript plus, it is the combination of JavaScript plus data types. It is the combination of what? The JavaScript plus data types. That's it. Now, why do we need to have the TypeScript? Why can't I directly write with the help of JavaScript? Is JavaScript is having few limitations. I can say JavaScript is having few limitations. What are the limitations? The first limitation is going to be, it is not a strongly typed language. It is not a strongly typed language. Now, what is meant by strongly typed and loosely typed here? Suppose if you people can take Java as an example or C# as an example, if I'll be creating a variable index is equal to 10, is it valid or invalid? Tell me. Is it valid or invalid? Tell me, guys. Valid only, definitely. Either C# or Java or even in Python, you can take almost the same syntax that we have, and it is valid only. Suppose, let's say, if I'll be using x is equal to welcome, if I'll be writing, then is it valid? Tell me. Is it valid? Obviously, no, it is invalid. Why it is invalid? Because either you can take Java or you can take the C#.NET or you may take the Python. Okay, you may take the Python. These are strongly typed languages. Okay, these are strongly typed languages. That means once you define a variable with a particular type, you can store only that value. That's it. You can store only that value. But you can see if it is a JavaScript, if I'll be creating a variable, something like where x is equal to 10, this is right. Suppose x is equal to welcome, if I'll be writing, this is also okay. Suppose x is equal to, let me write 123.456. Okay, then that is also okay. Suppose x is equal to something, if I'll be giving true or false, that is also okay. That means what here? JavaScript is not a type safe language. That means once you define a variable with var, we use var to define a variable, you can store any value into that. You can store some numerical value, you can store some string value, you can store some double value, you can store some Boolean value. So like that it is going to be. That means it is not a strongly typed language, so that you can store anything. And the second one is going to be, it is not an object oriented programming language. I can say it is an object oriented, but not a pure object oriented programming. It is not a pure object oriented programming language. That means what is the need of object oriented programming here? What is the need of object oriented programming? Mainly object oriented programming can be used for two things. First one is going to be reusability, and the second one is going to be security. So JavaScript is not having, like, a pure object oriented programming. So reusability is very less, and also security. So these two things are going to be very less if you can write what? A pure object oriented programming by using the JavaScript. That is the second limitation. And third limitation is going to be, it is very hard to extend. It is very hard to extend. That means I have written some logic and I have written that logic in one file, and all the logic I wanted to use it in another files or another classes if I'll be using. Then that means extension is something like what? Inheritance. Generally, what is the purpose of inheritance? Inheritance will extend the behavior of your application, right? Am I right? Tell me. I hope you people might know the object-oriented programming principles. What are the object-oriented programming principles? We have encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, and the next one, inheritance. Now, what is the purpose of the inheritance? Inheritance is mainly used to what? Extend the behavior of application. That means already I created a class, and once if my class is ready, and I have deployed my class into the application, into the live. Suppose if there is a new requirement comes, then what I can do? I can extend the behavior by creating a new class. Understand? So that is what inheritance is very important. Extension of the application is very important. And if you are using JavaScript, it is very difficult to do the extension. Extending is very difficult for us. Okay, extension is very difficult for us. That is the main reason that we are having. So we have these three limitations. The first one is it is not a strongly typed. Second one is it is not a pure object oriented programming. And third one is going to be it is very difficult to extend. And fourth one is going to be it is an interpreter. based language. It is an interpreter based language. Interpreter based language. Now, what is meant by an interpreter and what is meant by a compiler? What is meant by interpreter and what is meant by a compiler? Compiler will check the syntactical errors. Compiler will check the syntactical errors. That means, suppose, let's say, I'm going to define a variable, something like var x is equal to 10. And here, this is a proper syntax to write the code. Suppose if I'll be writing something like x var is equal to something like, I'm going to write Srikanth here. Is this is a valid syntax? Tell me. Is this is a valid syntax? Tell me. Invalid, obviously. But you know, until you execute that application, you don't know that like that is going to be an error. We have an option that is use straight. By using that, we can do up to some extent, but not 100%. Okay. So that means until you execute that application, we don't know that what exactly the syntax is. That means whether we follow a proper syntax to write the code or not, we don't have any clue on that. That is where I'm telling you, it is an interpreter based language, very difficult to find like, that errors. So all these are the limitations that we are having. To overcome these limitations, Google has started a language. Google has started a language, and that is what we call it as a EdScript language. Understand? And this is for Angular application only. Angular development. For pure Angular development, they created a language. Just give me a minute. Okay, you can see, I will show you that even. EdScript. You can see that. EdScript was proposed by the JavaScript-based scripting language, extending the Microsoft TypeScript and transcompiling to the JavaScript. It was introduced in 2014 at the NG Europe conference by the developers of whom? Google. Understand, for what development? Angular JS web development framework as the language for upcoming Angular 2.0 would be built with. That means at that particular time, they released what? EdScript as the language. But later what happened, Microsoft introduced the TypeScript. Understand? Later what happened, Microsoft introduced TypeScript. Microsoft introduced TypeScript. And who invented this? The founder of C#.NET programmer, a C#.NET architect. Okay, same architect developed the TypeScript also. That means it was introduced by the same developer or else same architect who works for C#.NET is Andrew Anders. His name is Anders. Okay, Hegelsberg or Hedgeberg or something. I didn't remember his name exactly, but he is the one actually. That means like who invented the C#.NET into the market. Same person, they introduced what? C#.NET also, TypeScript also into the market. And the same TypeScript, okay, same TypeScript can be used for Angular application, can be used for React application. Okay, yeah, Hazelseberg, I guess. Okay, it's okay. It doesn't require. No one will ask you like who invented. Okay, leave about that. But Anders Hazelseberg is some name. I didn't remember it. Anders, I remember. Okay, leave it. Okay, Same TypeScript, like what is the advantage here? Same TypeScript can be used for what? Angular application development, React application development, Vue.js application development, and any upcoming JavaScript development or library or framework is going to be released, and it is compatible. That means right now, whatever the programming language or scripting language you people are learning right now. Okay, right now, whatever you people are learning, that is understand common for every library with respect to the JavaScript. Every library with respect to the JavaScript. That is how it is going to be. That is well learn like a concept always. Now, what is the advantage of the TypeScript here then? What is the advantage of the TypeScript here? TypeScript is having like many advantages. Advantages of TypeScript. What are the advantages? First one is going to be it is strongly typed. That means we have the data types in order to define the variables. We have the data types in order to define the variables. And next one is going to be it supports object-oriented programming concepts. That means if we have like all that object-oriented programming concept support is available over here. That is how the TypeScript is. And also it is understand it is directly interacted with hardware. That is also one of the point. It is directly interacted with the hardware components. And also it is very faster and it is occupying less memory. Understand? And also I can say that used for building complex applications, complex application development. We can use like, TypeScript to build a complex application development. We can use this to build Angular, React, and Vue.js also. That means the same TypeScript can be understanding or can be used to build what? Angular application, React application. Nowadays, Vue.js is also there in the market. There also we supposed to use it. That is how it is going. Understood. But one thing you should understand here. I'll write a note here. I'll write one important note here. Browsers, okay, cannot understand. Browsers cannot understand TypeScript. Understand? Browsers cannot understand TypeScript. So the TypeScript code has to be converted into JavaScript, and that process is known as transpilation, and that process is known as transpilation. Did you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Browsers are not able to understand the TypeScript by default. If you can write any of the TypeScript code, browsers are not able to understand that. So that is the reason all the TypeScript code, what you people have written, end of the day, it has to convert it into the JavaScript, and that process, what we call it as transpilation. Transpilation is the process of converting the TypeScript code into JavaScript code where browsers can understand. Clear na? Clear na? Tell me. Is it clear? Hello. Okay. So that is how it is going to be. Very good. Very good. Cool. So these are the advantages that what you people are getting with the help of TypeScript. Now, how we are going to learn here is, as I told you, when I say about the TypeScript, you're not going to learn anything new apart from the data type. Understand? Apart from the data type, we are not going to learn anything new. We are understanding the very basic things. That means TypeScript language basics are something like what? How do we write a variable? How do we create the data type? How to work with, let's say, an operator and control statements, and also writing the functions, something like this. That's it. Okay, just you can use it. So how we can make use of it, I will show you by writing a simple program. Now I'm going to open Visual Studio Code. But before that, today we will see a simple example and we'll wind up the session. And tomorrow onwards, we'll dig more about this one, TypeScript. Now, before I'm going to start, full stack Angular is the one. I'm going to remove this one. Just let me remove it. And I wanted to right click, add new, and the folder. And the name of the folder is going to be TypeScript is the one. Okay. You may create in anywhere. That's up to you. That's up to you. Now, first, what I want to do, I'll go to my command prompt. See this? Shrikant, like how we supposed to open? How we supposed to open? Just you can see that. I'll go to here. I'll go to the folder browser, guys. And there you can just type the CMD so that it will open what? Command prompt. From there, you can give code space dot. From there, you can give code space dot so that it will open what? Visual Studio Code to you. Okay. Did you understand what I'm saying? Right? Okay. Just I'm repeating. Just I'm repeating, guys. Just I'm repeating. Okay. First, what I'm doing, you can see. Create the folder like wherever you guys wants to maintain your application. Create the folder over there. And then just click on the browser, folder browser, and type CMD. When you type the CMD, then it will open the command prompt. Okay. In that particular path, directly it will take the path. That is the reason where I asked you to open. Okay. And once if it is done, there you can type a command code space dot. When you give the code space dot, then automatically it will open the Visual Studio Code to you. After that, you can write the code what you people wants to write. That's up to you. Okay, now. Clear now? Right. Now you see steps to work with the TypeScript. The next one is going to be first example. Okay, steps to write the TypeScript code. Okay, steps to write the TypeScript code. So the first step one is going to be, okay, create a TypeScript file and write the required logic. Understand? Create the TypeScript file and write the required logic. That's up to you. Whatever you people wants to write, you can write it over there. That's your wish. Now I'll open the Visual Studio and I'll click on you see a new file. Okay, new file. And from here, what I can do is I'm going to use something like first.ts. Now, first.ts is just an extension. .ts is an extension for the TypeScript files. .ts is an extension for the TypeScript file. Now I created what? First.ts. Now I'm going to use what? I'm writing some program over here. So how could I write? First, I'll create a variable. I'll explain you, don't worry, where employee name, which is of type string, is equal to, I'm going to write my name, Shrikant Ralapandi, as the name I have given. And I'm going to use that alert and where I can go with the employee name. That's it. Okay. So I'm just writing a simple TypeScript code here. Nothing apart from that one. I have written a simple TypeScript code. I have written over there. Now save this application and then I'm going to write something like first.html because directly you cannot run it. Directly you cannot run this one. If you can right click and if you can just do like, try to run this one, then it is not possible. So that you have to give what? Some HTML file and then we can use it. So how we can do that? Simply, I'll be writing, maybe let's say first.html I can use. I'm going to write the HTML5 document and get the file. Okay, let's say I'll be using script src is equal to, I'm using this, that's it. I'm not writing anything, just you can see. Here I'll be writing, welcome to TypeScript. Okay, what I'm doing, you can see the step number 1 is going to be create the TypeScript file. After that, include the TypeScript file in the HTML. Now run the HTML where you can see, am I able to get that alert message? Tell me. Tell me guys, am I getting that alert message? Tell me. No, why I am not getting that alert message? Is it not loading? If you can go to that inspect, you can see it in the console. There we have an error. I will tell you all these things. Now you see, what is that error here? What is that error? Uncaught syntax, unexpected token, that is what? Colon. That means we have an error. Where the error is going to be? First.ts. That means we have some error over there. What exactly that error? Because as I told you, if you could remember, browser is not able to run the TypeScript because browser is not understand anything of TypeScript. Browser can understand only what? JavaScript. So that is the reason where the very first thing what you can do is we have to generate what? The JavaScript. So how to generate the JavaScript? For that reason, what I can do is I'll be using a command, something like TSC, that means TypeScript compiler space. What is the TypeScript file name we are having here? First.ts, right? So give first.ts, I can say, that's it. There you can see the JavaScript file would be created. Now you can see first.js is created or not? Tell me. Hello. Yes or no? What command I used here? Just go to the location where your file is. Go to the location. There you can give a command tsc space file name. That means the second step number 2 is what? Create a TypeScript file and write the required logic and save with an extension that is star.ts, where star stands for any name. Guys, any name. Star means any name you can give, but it should end with .ts as an extension. .ts as an extension. Okay. Step number 2. What is step number 2? Compile the file. Compile the TypeScript. So how do we compile it? We use a command tsc. tsc stands for TypeScript file. File name dot ts, I can say. Whatever the file name you can give here. and give that file name. That is how it is going. Now step 3, include in HTML. Otherwise, we have another option. That option I will show you tomorrow. Don't worry. So now what I can do, I'll come to here instead of having, let's say, TS file, I'm using JS file now. Now you see the time where I'm changing the JavaScript file here, and now if you can execute, you see that am I able to see my name or not? Yes or no? That means what happened? We are converting the TypeScript code into the JavaScript. Because of that, browsers are able to understand. Because of that, browsers are able to understand. That is the reason where I am able to see that alert message. Clear na? Clear na? Understand? Clear? So that is the importance. Again, I'm repeating, guys. The first step number 1 is what? Step number 1 is what? Create the TypeScript file. Write the liquid logic. Save with an extension .ts. Second one, compile the JavaScript. How to compile? TSC space file name. It will generate JavaScript file. JavaScript file. Include the JavaScript in HTML and then run the application. There you can see the output. But you can see here the difference between the TypeScript and the JavaScript. What is the difference you observe? Tell me. Tell me, guys. What is the difference you observed here in between these two? What is the difference? Tell me. What is the difference? Right, very good. The only difference is what? Colon and the data type. Nothing apart from that. That means the only difference that we are having here is data type. That is where I told you TypeScript is nothing but it's a JavaScript only. Additionally, they added the data type to make the program as strongly typed. To make the program as strongly typed. Now, how we are going to work with the data types and all, we will be understanding from tomorrow onwards. And by tomorrow, I'll found a admin and I'll ask them to create some Google Classroom link even for us. And there I can post everything that what we have covered so far. Okay, everything that will be covered and I'll share it with you. It's okay by tomorrow that you will be getting. I don't have those guys' number. Today I'll definitely finalize and he will message you by tomorrow at any cost. I'll find a admin for this batch and I'll give you an update on that. Okay. Cool then. Cool. So that's it, guys, for the day. I'll stop for the day. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.